Hey, it's the Pizza Party Podcast, Halloween edition, I guess. I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
Ooh, I'm the ghost of Ken. Ooh.
That's too soon. Wow.
Wow,
Fucking
yeah,
rude.
too soon.
Wow.
Hey, this is Jim. I'm
Wow.
here also.
What the fuck?
Well, sorry everybody, but Ken's dead. This is the first episode without him.
Yeah.
This is a post-Ken era.
He's in a worse place. Image Comics.
I think we should all have a moment of silence.
You suck!
And we were supposed to have a guest today, but I overslept because I was editing a Gem and the Holograms movie review. I edited, which came out a few days ago. Well, I edited that in like under 48 hours, which I'm kind of proud of, but I lost so much sleep. But yeah, that movie was a disaster.
I also saw that movie on very little sleep, so I feel like that's that kind of movie.
I was just about to say.
It's like the no sleep movie where you're like, what's the point of life?
Why am I
I'm
doing
watching this movie. What's this Taylor Swift song playing? What's going on?
Like, yeah, just to repeat what I said in the review, it feels like an Ed Wood movie for teens.
It really felt like when MTV tried to make original movies in the early 2000s. It felt like that, like the Together boy band. Do you remember them?
No.
They're a parody boy band, and they were like and then they made music videos that would play on MTV. And then I think one of them died of a weird disease, and then it wasn't funny anymore.
Oh.
True story. Didn't make that up.
Like, TV movies have better production values. I mean, they don't, like, show footage of Google Earth with, like, the Google Earth logo in the corner, Google copyright on the bottom like the Gem movie did. Go watch my review to see what I'm talking about, because it's pathetic what they did in this film for $5 million and basically no money.
So, like I mentioned to you earlier, that the director says he chose to do it this way, and if he kept it under a certain budget, they'd let him do it this way. But I kind of think it was like a conscious way to make something like, you know, the Masters of the Universe movie where they like totally butchered the adaptation. But instead of doing it...
Sheeped it out.
Instead of doing it like where you do it cheaply because you don't have the money or technology, he like did it on purpose, which I think is even weirder. Like,
for those who didn't see the Masters of the Universe movie, the He-Man 80s movie, it takes place in like this medieval fantasy world called Eternia, but most of the movie takes place in modern day where He-Man gets transported because they didn't have money, I guess.
Yeah, and Courtney Cox was there, and it was really weird.
yeah, it was.
But like this movie, I feel like the director for Gem was just, I don't know, covering for the studio. Like the studio said, look, defend this movie, you have to, or we'll kill you. And
you know who? Oh, sorry.
And have the director just say, yeah, this is exactly what I meant for this to happen, you know? This is how I wanted a Gem movie to be done, in the most cliche, stock way possible.
From all the little things I've seen, I kind of like how it looks like an 80s movie, but after hearing all this, I don't think that was intentional.
No, it doesn't intend it. You know, actually, who helped produce it was Blumhouse, who does all the horror movies like Insidious and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why it looks so cheap looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually, the two of the girls, Kimber and Aja, were both in Insidious Chapter 3. So they probably were just like, hey, since you're already here, what if you made another movie too? That'd be cool, right?
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, let's do it.
It's gonna be great. I'll get my Windows Movie Maker.
It was pretty. It's just that I'm curious what the Gem fans who are in this movie thought of it. That's what I'm curious about.
Like, I guess they're kind of thankful they're in a movie, but like they wish they'd be in a better movie.
No, I like to think that there are going to be some really hardcore defenders of this movie.
No.
Oh, there are people who are defending it, saying like, well, it's about girls being in a band, and I was like,
No.
that's not an argument.
Those are just people who secretly work for the studio trying to defend it.
Well, you know, there is a good movie other than Josie and the Pussycats about a girl band. It's called Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. That's an awesome movie about a girl band. Like, just see that. Don't see that. It's like
The Fabulous Stains. This looks super 80s.
Diane Lane. It's really good though. It's like, and it's actually more about being a band and selling out and artist integrity better than this fucking movie did. And it was an actual good movie. So.
This girl looks like
the Fabulous.
I'm looking up the Fabulous Stains, and this girl looks like a mix between Jem and Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's a cool movie, but that's like, and people were trying to compare it to Josie and the Pussycats. And I was like, just no, sorry, it's not like Josie and the. I mean, I didn't notice any parody or satire in it at all.
I mean, Josie and the Pussycats at least had fun with the idea, but like Jem took itself way too seriously.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is like it was a soap opera. Like soap operas, you go ridiculous or you don't. And Jem was like not ridiculous enough for Jem, you know?
No, it was just
like,
standard teen movie.
I just didn't. That's if someone could just explain to me who that movie's for. That's what I want to know. I just really don't get it.
Teens.
Well, it's not because no teens were there. Were teens there when you saw it?
Just because no teens were there over at your place, Jim, doesn't mean that they did go see. God.
I mean, my theater had 6 people total. Like 4 of us were me and my group of friends, and like no one showed up. It was opening day Friday. No one was there. What a mistake. But yeah, you want to get into the news? Oh, the next video? I think I'm going to release it early for Halloween since it's top 5 Halloween hidden gems, and Halloween's on this Saturday. Otherwise, I'd release it on Tuesday, so I'm not sure. So yeah.
What's on the list, Pan?
That's a spoiler, but I mentioned Repo in my gem review. So yeah, I talk about Repo there. So news?
News? I don't have any more news-related jokes because I'm just used to hearing Fox News all the time, so that's the only one I can really make fun of, but pretend there's a news joke in here, everybody.
We're all just jokes.
Oh, that's dark.
This is Rayman. This is a man called Ray. Rayman is the star of the action-adventure game Rayman 2. Ray is not. Rayman can shoot, swim, swing, fly, and even water ski. Ray cannot. Rayman has friends and enemies in dozens of epic worlds. Ray has a sister in Florida. So, remember, it's Rayman, not Ray. Rayman 2 for Nintendo 64.
Let's see, news 1. Hey, you guys like the rabbits from Ubisoft?
I'm gonna say no.
Rayman's Raving Rabbids. The Robot Chicken writers are going to make a hybrid live-action and stop-motion movie of rabbits.
You wanna take a minute to enunciate your words there, pal?
Rabbits.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, hey, the Minions movie was successful, and like the rabbits were the original Minions for video games, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that's interesting is that it's stop-motion and live-action hybrid, so I guess that would be kind of interesting.
Why stop motion of all things? I mean, I get why because of because the company's doing it does stop motion, but like why that stylistic choice?
I don't know, but hey, so this is kind of sort of the remake to Monkey Bone. Monkey Bone.
Was Henry Selick involved?
No, it's the Robot Chicken animator. So you can.
Oh, so it's really the sequel to Hell and Back.
Yeah, so expect some choppy stop motion animation.
I hope they make lots of inappropriate sex jokes throughout it, just like in Hell and Back.
No, it's just gonna be the rabbits going or whatever sound they make.
You know what would be infinitely sadder if Laika did the movie?
Laika, that's when they would sell their soul.
What are they doing now? Aren't they doing something?
I don't know, but the good thing is Laika is owned by someone who owns Nike, so it's like, here guys, I make all this money selling Nikes, here's all this money, you'll be around for a long time. I
think Laika movies like make their budget back. I don't know. I think they make a little bit over, but not too much.
I think the Box Trolls bomb since that was boring.
That was not great. Coraline did really well. Yeah. Maybe they just saved all their money from Coraline.
Oh, I was at an H-E-B supermarket here in Texas, and I saw like a knockoff version of Coraline called Carolyn.
I really thought it was going to be Caroline.
No.
Carolyn.
Like I needed to like look that up and find like a rip of that movie, see how bad it is. But yeah, Robot Chicken writers. So no one cares. Hey.
No, not really.
Hey, what do you guys like? The Lego Movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to talk about that one ride?
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but they're going to make a Playmobile movie. Playmobile Robbers, Thieves, and Rebels. It's going to be $78 million budget, and it's going to come out 2018.
What?
Wait, how much money?
75 million.
This Lego movie was made on 60, right?
Wait, how many times a gem movie is that? I'm going to do the math. Hold on.
Okay, well, 75 times 5, so like 5 times 5.
15. It's 15 times a gem movie.
Yeah,
That's how many times.
They could have made 15 gem movies on this budget.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, but like Playmobil, that's like the poor man's Lego. Like, why not make a Mega Bloks the movie?
Sure, they're developing it.
There's Minecraft, and then there's like Roblox, which is like the cheap-ass version of Minecraft, which I think Roblox came first. But you can tell someone is 10 years old if they have a Roblox icon.
Damn. Just think how pissed off the Roblox creators are now that fucking Notch came along. Just like, hey, what's up? I don't know what fucking accent he has.
Mind if I craft right in?
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Playmobil, like, who cares?
I used to play with Playmobil all the time with my brother when I was younger.
Make a GoBots movie while you're at it.
Well, you know why they won't? Because Hasbro owns GoBots. They're not going to compete against themselves. Like, I thought that for years. Like, why isn't there a GoBots movie? That's like, I'm sure there's another studio who thought of it, and then they're like, who owns the rights? Oh, Hasbro.
Did they buy out?
They've got them.
Did they buy them out?
I think something like that. But they have the monopoly on robots that transform into cars.
So they own the Rock Lords.
Yeah, they do own the Rock Lords.
Damn. They could have one big crossover between all these. And include that one building that turns into a robot from Big. It's a building that turned into a robot. How could this fail?
Maybe that's the only thing anyone else has the rights to, so they'll make a movie called Robo Building.
Playmobil, are you excited that this film has more money than the Lego movie in terms of budget? So it's gotta be better.
What I'm wondering is are they going to just rip it off completely and just like do a Playmobil that moved like actual Playmobil, or they're just going to like do a really stupid stock adventure? That's what I'm wondering.
I bet they're just going to do a stock adventure, and it's not even going to take advantage of the fact that it's their blocks. Like, the reason why Lego Movie was so great is because they took advantage of the fact that the Lego movies the Lego characters can barely move around, and they have no limbs or anything.
When they animated it with Legos, I mean, they put Legos in the computer, but they're all existing Lego. They only had to make a few things, and it was funny and silly and had a good energy. Like, Playmobil can't really do what Legos could do.
Yeah, I'm like, the whole reason the Legos move like that, it's a plot point.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's Ninjago on TV and all those other Lego TV specials, and they don't care. They don't take advantage of the fact that they're Legos. They move with limbs and such. Like, their bodies are made of rubber, basically. Like, they're just a random story that happened to look like Lego characters. It has no reason to be Legos. Yeah, so I think that's what they're gonna do with the Playmobil movie. Just make a film that happens to look like Playmobil.
Lame.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to bomb.
Yeah, no one's gonna care about this. Okay.
In 2018, I'll be too into watching Star Wars 9 or something.
9. DN. Other news. Hey, you guys like Monster High?
Oh my god. Not this shit again.
Oh, it's awesome. They have such great fashion, and it teaches you to be yourself, and
Just get on with it so we can move on to the next point.
there ain't no honky-ass white monster girls. They're all like green, brown, red, all those inhuman colors.
Get to the point.
Okay, well, DC Nation... Everyone's making their own Monster High knockoffs, and DC made their own superhero girls and follows Catwoman, I think, and Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy all in school together.
Yeah. Did you just post this news just so you could talk about Monster High some more?
Yeah. Ghoulie is the best, and also Skeletor. She's a skeleton, but she walks around. She's a sugar skull. Well, she's not a sugar skull. She eats sugar skulls, which is kind of fucked up. Great.
Okay.
And one last thing. Remember that remember that game I talked about last week by the Skullgirls team, Indivisible?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's not doing very well, and I don't know. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but a lot of people are saying that if this thing bombs, the company Lab Zero might go under. The Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. Currently, it's at 30%.
Wasn't Skullgirls really successful?
Yeah, but I guess it needs $1,500,000. $1,500,000.
What I don't understand is where did that money go then?
Oh, there's a lot of issues that happened behind the scenes at Skullgirls. Like, originally they were published by Konami, and there was, like, a lot of infighting, and eventually they split up, and then people had to reinstall Skullgirls, but without the Konami name on it, on, like, the PSN and Xbox Store, and there were so many issues that happened, and they had another Kickstarter to fund more characters, which animation is really expensive, and considering how detailed these characters are with the shading, I can see how they can easily blow their money on so few characters with such expensive budgets. But I don't know. I think the reason why this individual Kickstarter is failing is $1,500,000. Second, I think that My Little Pony fighting game, Them's Fighting Herds took its thunder. Because it's another fighting game with the Skullgirls engine. So I propose a plan. I think this is how we could save Indivisible. Like, this character, she's pretty boring. Like, there's nothing interesting about her. So what we gotta do, we gotta include, like, breast physics.
Are you gonna make a joke about how she has to have bigger tits or something?
Yeah, we gotta do that. It's the only way. We gotta have breast physics. Like, you know, like, she has to get power-ups, and, like, the power-ups are, like, popsicles. And, like, she picks up the popsicles, and she, like, sticks them in their mouth, and she just, like, slowly eats the popsicle, you know? The more damage she takes, the more clothes she loses, you know? It's empowering, you know? It's gonna work. Oh my God. It's gonna work. So yeah, that's my ideas. Like, you got any ideas? Like, maybe like
I would have more ideas if this joke was actually funny.
How dare you know this could happen. This is what they could do. It's the only way to save Lab Zero. But that's fucked up. Like, an entire company is resting on a crowdfunding campaign.
Hey, they're probably not the only one.
Yeah. So, you want to get into the topic about Halloween?
I thought we were going to do a Q&A.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know anymore, but hey, Halloween's still here, so might as well, like, mention any Halloween things we saw.
Well, I wasn't prepared for talking about Halloween.
I mean, you've seen a Halloween special at some point in your life.
Such a broad topic.
The Garfield one. That's, like, legendary.
Garfield's Halloween Adventure, sponsored by McDonald's, where it's a good time with Ronald and his friends.
Garfield? Oh.
You know the Garfield? It's a good one. Oh. The Halloween special.
My mind just went to the movie of Garfield.
Oh, no. It's like, the cool thing is it's actually scary.
A Garfield thing that's actually scary.
Yes, I'm serious. I watched it last year. I was like, wow, this is like, because Garfield and Odie go trick-or-treating, and then they, like, get in a boat and go to this, like, weird haunted island, and they actually made the evil guy, they made sure the animation looked different from Garfield and Odie, so it seemed off and spooky. It was cool. I'm not joking. I can maybe I'll find it so you can link to it and stuff. But it was good.
What's it called? Just Garfield and Halloween.
It was like,
Garfield's Halloween Adventure.
This reminds me of the canceled Garfield's Judgment Day.
What?
Wait, what?
It was supposed to be a really serious Garfield movie, but Jim Davis he was really excited to do it, but he couldn't find anything on the project. So like. He's going to, so he couldn't, like, go find anybody to fund the project. Sorry, I'm really tired. But, yeah, I'm actually doing a video with a friend, Bedhead Bernie, and I'm going to be doing top 10 failed animated adaptations, and I think that's on the list. So go check that out, everybody.
So is this like a grimdark Garfield?
Yeah, it was a 2D animated grimdark Garfield movie where, like, a storm... like rips apart Garfield's house, And I guess it was just kind of the after effects of that, and it was supposed to be a more serious Garfield movie.
So it's Garfield meets the Terminator.
I guess.
Wow.
But no, this Garfield was before it had a show, it was just specials in prime time. So this was just a Halloween special.
Okay, so it's an older one that's in 2D animation.
Yeah, but it was considered a spookier one. Like when I brought it up to people who watched it when it came on, they were like, "Oh man, that freaked me out as a kid."
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of the Angry Beavers episode. There was something really surreal about that one, the Halloween episode where they get transported into a bad 50s black and white movie. And like
really?
The Angry Beavers are like drawn cartoony, but like all the humans are drawn like in that 50s comic book style.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. The one thing that still I think about a lot is the scene where this big burly guy, the main hero of the 50s comic book, just picks up a bookshelf and tries to throw it at a monster, but it just hits his love interest, and you just see her buried in a pile of just of a destroyed cabinet, all these pieces of wood, and just her arm just sticking out. It's like, damn, that's brutal. I don't know. I just remember that in first grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's The Simpsons, but that's too many to bring up even.
I heard they made like a new Simpsons Halloween episode, except it's not. It's actually canon with the series. It's not a Treehouse of Horror episode.
What?
Yeah, they
So
did.
was there no Treehouse of Horror this year?
No, it's like a canon Halloween episode where it's a zombie. I think it's a zombie episode, and I heard people actually really loved it.
Oh, really? See, I don't even know what's going on with The Simpsons anymore. It's like
All anyone cares about The Simpsons anymore is whatever new couch gag there is, and that's all.
Yeah, that's true. No, the thing with Treehouse of Horror the past couple of years is when I try to watch it, they're not even parodying horror movies. It's just like, here's a movie that was popular, and I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's not Treehouse of Horror. Yeah, like they should be parodying like. It doesn't have to be a new horror movie. Like the old ones the original ones weren't newer horror movies. It was like Twilight Zone and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I wish they would just take classic, like scary stories and do that stuff. That was when it was great.
I feel like if Simpsons wanted to do like a parody, like
anthology.
Parody anthology, they should just do something else in the year and just like have it be like Treehouse of Horror, but for other movies, and then have Treehouse of Horror be animated stuff.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
They've done that for other things. Like I remember they had like a fairy tale sort of anthology and like stories of the Bible anthology.
Oh yeah, they did. Mm-hmm. Or then the 36 films about Springfield.
Like when I was younger, I had like some religious class on Wednesdays, and I remember we had to take some sort of test, I guess, and like the only reason I passed it is because I remember the episode of The Simpsons where they parodied David and Goliath. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
God, I remember when my parents made me sit through a religious ed. It was the most boring schlock ever.
Yeah, actually, my mom only made me go as like a punishment if I was like really bad.
Oh,
so
man.
I went like a couple times, but then like later I was like, I don't think my mom realized she conditioned me to view religion as a punishment, but whatever.
Whoops.
I guess that's why like I stopped ever going to church after that. It's because I was like, well, that's like what you do when you're in trouble, is you have to sit there and be bored and listen to people preach at you.
Yeah, church is like sitting around and for an hour, like, but if you go to like my Catholic Mexican church, you have those things where you have to put you get on your knees and then pray, and then you stand back up and then you sit down, but then you go on get on your knees again. It's like an aerobics class but with church.
That's how it always feels.
Now I'm imagining the old man, rabbi, priest, whatever the hell they're called, and like a yoga get up, and they're just like, all right, everybody, time to do the aerobics of the Lord.
Yeah, I mean, there was an episode of King of the Hill where Hank Hill was trying to find a new church, and he went to a Mexican one, and he had to do that. It's like, is this only a Mexican thing? Apparently, I didn't know.
I was thought it was like
Mexican.
aerobics.
What the hell?
I know. It's like I lived in Mexico my whole life, and like about a year ago, I was thinking, wait, are piñatas a thing only Mexican kids do, or do all Americans do that?
All Americans do. I did that as a kid, but it is considered a Mexican I think, right?
Same with the Selena movie. It's like, okay, this movie is pretty popular where I live, but does anyone else outside of like the most southern point of Texas know of Selena?
Well, it was a big movie, but it wasn't probably not as big as that area because she was huge in that area, probably.
Yeah. I mean, every single like Hispanics I know seen that movie. Well, almost everyone. Zoe didn't from the last podcast. She didn't see Selena. Like, what the fuck?
I did, but it was like in the 90s. Like, I don't think I've seen it since then.
Yeah, but like every time in school, like it's like, hey, we have free time. We're gonna watch a movie. It's always Selena. We're gonna watch.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
This is the area I lived in.
They couldn't come up with any other movie that would appeal to Mexican viewers.
That and Stand and Deliver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stand and Deliver's I don't mind Stand and Deliver. I kind of liked it.
How do I teach these kids?
Wait, they didn't do La Bamba?
Nope, we never saw that.
Oh, La Bamba's it's because it's about Richie Valens. You'd think they'd do that one. Oh well. That stars the kid from Stand and Deliver.
Oh.
What's his name? You know that guy, and he's in a gang.
I don't know. Is he on the cover of the movie?
Yeah, he's on the cover of the movie, and you're always like, "Why is he on the cover?" Because he's the coolest person in the movie, probably. Oh, but Edward James Olmos. I love Edward James Olmos. He's almost an awesome. He's an awesome guy. Mm-hmm. I like that guy.
Yeah, and you can't be Hispanic without watching Stand and Deliver and Selena.
Wow, that's a school rainy day double feature.
What were we talking about?
Oh, Halloween specials.
Oh, I guess. I don't know how we got to the topic of Selena. Church or something.
Know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, search.
Any horror movies that you saw recently? Goosebumps.
Well, who's excited for Paranormal Activity 6th Ghost Dimension?
Is that 6 or 5?
It's 6.
Oh, it is because marked ones is 5. Yeah. No one, that's not getting in many theaters because they want to put it on VOD in 7 weeks, and the theaters were like, we're not playing this crap. But it did better than Gem, so.
Oh, like they couldn't. I guess they couldn't call it the Phantom Zone. They had to call it Ghost Dimension.
Yeah, it was like.
No, they should have called it the Ghost Zone, and then it could have been like, "Whoa, Danny Phantom crosses over."
Why go?
And then Danny Phantom could have saved the family from the ghosts.
Why go in the Ghost Zone when you could enter the Bone Zone?
Ooh, wait, you mean that store that only sells Jeff Smith's Bone comics?
Bone.
I need to read Bone. That looks like a good series.
That would be funny if it was like a store and they only sold stuff specifically for Jeff Smith's Bone, and they called it the Bone Zone. They it's a zone for Bone, and people were like, no, not. Oh wow.
Do you have any Simon Max? No, we only have Bone.
We only have Bone.
Nothing more and nothing less.
There's not. I don't think there's enough Bone stuff to make a Bone Zone.
Yeah, I'm tired of this bullshit. Undertale making all these Bone art.
Listen, Sans is premium. He's great. Don't make fun of Sans.
Tired of these white ass skeletons. I want some more sugar skulls in media.
Are you trying to insinuate that there are racial skeletons?
They're pretty white. I mean, they're clearly not sugar skulls, so they can't be Mexican because
what's a sugar skull?
It's something Mexicans eat, and we become sugar skulls according to Book of Life.
Really? Oh wow.
Something like that. I don't know.
I just was excited when Book of Life I learned that when you die you get unlimited churros. I was kind of into that.
And you get to hang around with the Adelita twins.
Because you can't churros, I just have to wait for that lady on the subway to sell them. They're not an everyday thing.
Oh, you go. Never.
She has like a little push cart full of churros, and they're always really good.
Oh.
Sorry, the churros messed everything. I churroed it up.
Goosebumps, I think I was talking about, but anyone else saw Goosebumps? That's Halloween related.
This Friday, what gives you goosebumps? The gnomes, the blob,
Oh, come on.
the aliens, and Slappy the dummy.
Who you calling dummy?
Goosebumps, rated PG, Friday.
I did, and it was not great. It was weird because I was the right age for being nostalgic for Goosebumps, and there was one birthday all I got were Goosebump books, but I'm like not nostalgic for it at all. Like when I was watching the movie, I was like, this is weird because they didn't use like Monster Blood or any of the books that I thought were the bigger ones in it. And it was like not something, I was like, I guess it's not something I really care that much about. And also the movie wasn't great, but it, I don't know. I read them when they were big, and then it kind of just like left my brain completely.
Yeah, I never read Goosebumps since I didn't read at all as a child. But I mean, I was thinking like, wait, why are they making like this Jumanji comedy ripoff of Goosebumps? Shouldn't it be like an anthology horror movie for kids, like kind of like Creep Show, Trick or Treat, something like that?
Well, because
actually, probably
because X comes to the real world is the popular thing right now.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, it was a interesting idea. Like if they got a cooler director other than the guy who did, because it's directed by the guy who did Shark Tale, by the way. And Gulliver's Travels. There's a guy whose filmography is literally Shark Tale, Gulliver's Travels, and Goosebumps. That's his filmography.
I noticed, there was a scene in the movie where Jack Black, who plays R.L. Steins in the movie, he's being attacked by these gnomes, and they tie him down, and I thought, is this some sort of, like, nod to Gulliver's Travels, that movie nobody saw?
Yeah, I thought that, too. Oh, you know what the crazy thing about Gulliver's Travels? It's the reason Emily Blunt isn't Black Widow.
Well, she refused to do the role for Gulliver's Travels.
No, Fox had her signed to a contract, and they made her do Gulliver's Travels over the Avengers.
That's fucked. Oh, that's gotta suck.
So apparently it was like her role, and then Fox was like, oh, hey, we kind of forgot. We have a little stipulation when you did Devil Wears Prada, so you have to do Gulliver's Travels, and you can't be in the Avengers.
They took her soul away.
Or maybe it was Iron Man 2. I'm sorry, Iron Man 2. But still, that's why she couldn't do it, because Black Widow was first in Iron Man 2. Yeah. Just to clear that. But anyway, that meant she couldn't be in the Avengers. You get the point, but they screwed her over.
That sucks.
I mean, I think it worked out. Scarlett Johansson's a better Black Widow.
I think we could have lived in a universe where Emily Blunt would have been the Makoto from Ghost in the Shell.
If that's ever happening.
That possibly. But yeah, that really happened. Yeah. That's Hollywood.
But yeah, I was kind of hoping, like, why isn't this Goosebumps movie an anthology horror film? But from what I saw, I enjoyed what we got. Although they do the kind of typical, like, love story where they just hammer it in the beginning. Like, it reminds me of the movie Clock Stoppers. It has, like, the same cast of, like, main kid, love interest, and wacky sidekick in a high-concept comedy film.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It was so paint by numbers,
It's something about it felt early 2000s about it. But yeah,
it did.
I enjoyed it, and I liked the...
Was there a scene on Gulliver's Travels where Jack Black pees on somebody?
Oh, I think there is. No, you're thinking of Night at the Museum, I think.
No. It was in...
Oh, this is a different peeing on? Sorry.
Yeah, like... God, I don't remember, but it's like Jack Black was like... It was one of the little guys... I swear to God that happened.
Oh, wow.
Somebody in the comments, was there a scene in Gulliver's Travels where Jack Black pees on the little people? Yes or no?
I think I remember something like that.
Please, this is important.
I don't, with Goosebumps, it was also weird. When I went, I was like, oh, well, it'll only be people my age because who remembers Goosebumps? And there are all these kids there. I was like, what? Like, kids like Goosebumps still? That was shocking. I didn't know that.
Goosebumps was... Huh? What?
Do they?
Yeah.
How do kids like Goosebumps?
Well, I mean, parents will be like, oh, I loved Goosebumps as a kid. Let me take my kid.
Well, none of the... I guess maybe that's it. It's like the Ninja Turtle effect from last year.
Well, it's like, hey, once something is popular, like the internet will never let it live it down. Like, there's forever till the end of time, there will be Ninja Turtle reboots and Transformer reboots and Batman reboots. So, you know,
Ninja Turtles is just a universal thing at this point, I think. Because it's always been really popular and well known.
Yeah. By the way, when I went to see Goosebumps, like the theater was like, surprisingly dark. Like they didn't change the light bulb and the projector. Like, did that happen with you, Jim? Because
actually, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Like I remember some other reviewers, I think Double Toasted mentioned that, and I thought, is the movie really this dark then, or is it just the light bulb?
There was a part where I thought the projector was getting darker, but it was clear when I was watching it that the scene where it's in the trailer where she's like, "Come on, scaredy cat," and they walk into that amusement park that's in the middle of the woods for no reason, and that part looked like they shot it what they call is day for night, where they shoot something a day for a night. It looked like they'd done that and then went into like shitty Final Cut and brought down the contrast, and like it was pretty clear it was a like post-production thing that they just went way too far on, because there are a couple scenes like that where I was like, am I going blind? What's going on? Like it kind of, I was like, what is going on? Like I was surprised they'd release a major release with stuff like that in it. It was really poorly done.
Yeah, like I've noticed movies that do that where they clearly shot in the daytime, but they put like, I guess, a blue filter or something over the footage, so it's so obvious, and especially because they have shadows at night, it makes no sense.
It's just, it was, I don't know. That movie was like, I did like the concept is at least interesting, but I didn't think they had enough fun with it. Like, it didn't really reference, because apparently they couldn't have a lot of the bigger Goosebump books because of budget. So the only big one was the dummy Slappy. Mm-hmm. So, because there wasn't the Haunted Mask, or like Monster Blood, I thought was the biggest Goosebump book, but wasn't. They reference it, but that was about it.
They hint to a sequel, so maybe we'll see them in the next one, because I love these kinds of movies where it's like a group of kids fighting monsters at night. Yeah. Like, well, I'll talk about one I saw recently a little later, but like one thing that really concerned me about the Goosebumps movie is like the scene where Slappy like pulled Jack Black's pants down and you see Jack Black's testicles, and Slappy's just slapping them for like
what
10 minutes.
Movie did you see?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
You just see Jack Black's testicles exposed in a PG movie, and like for
that didn't.
Yeah, okay, listen, Pan.
That didn't happen.
10 minutes straight.
I'm gonna need you to stop and never talk again.
It was 10 minutes straight of just like. And like there was no one laughing in the theater. Like everyone was just silent, and like I just hear like
you have really weird dreams when you fall asleep during movies.
Little kids crying, and like I hear little kids saying, "Mommy, I want to go home," and it was like such an uncomfortable scene just to see Jack Black's balls.
Oh no! You know what? You're mistaken. That was in the Gem movie.
Oh no!
That was in the Gem movie.
They unzipped Zipper and they just kept slapping his balls. No.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a character named Zipper. But, the best part of the Gem movie, which we didn't bring up, is when the Rio guy is like, "Sure, Gem's amazing. She's glamour, glitter, fashion, and fame." I was like, I can't believe you did that. Oh my god!
And they couldn't at least.
And then he was like, "Look, Gem is amazing. She's truly, truly, truly amazing." I was like, oh my god.
Like at least they could have sung the Gem theme like at the end. I thought they were gonna say, all this fame and stuff has got into my head, but one thing I know is I'm Gem. Gem is the name. And like I wanted them to do that. Yeah. Like the Goopy Gooper scene in the SpongeBob movie. I wanted them to do that, but no.
No, they didn't.
Fuck it.
Oh well, whatever. Sorry, that movie was so
cheap. They didn't give a shit. It's so amazingly bad. Go watch the video that I uploaded a few days ago of my Gem movie review.
It finished 15th at the box office.
Oh, that sucks.
I think it made. Hold on. Oh, it made $1.3 million.
Hey, it made 1/5 of its budget back. That's
It didn't meet the Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials in its 6th week of release.
Wow, more people were watching The Maze Runner after 6 weeks than Gem, this new movie, the opening weekend.
And Gem was in over twice the amount of theaters.
This is sad.
It was a pretty historic bomb.
Yeah, I mean, it's worse than Dragon Ball Evolution, honestly.
I don't know. It was just like, when I was watching, I was like, it was hard to even review it because I was like, God, there's like, you could really pick apart this movie and how awful it was. I mean, it's not as bad itself as Strange Magic, which is still the #1 worst movie of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone can dethrone Strange Magic, but it's pretty high up there. It's just like it's a bad teen movie and a bad adaptation mixed together, and then there's other bad thing. It's like all these bad movies it's like the Avengers of bad thoughts or something. It's just like, it's like unbelievable how many bad ideas are in this movie.
Damn. Crap.
You know, maybe I should see those. Maybe those Justin Bieber documentaries are just like this.
Oh, but speaking of movie adaptations of cartoons, you know they made a Borris and Natasha movie without Rocky and Bullwinkle in the 90s.
What?
Yeah.
What? Meanwhile, Borris and Natasha plan the demise of our hungry heroes.
Hey, boys, try amazing McBorris burger.
Burgers are boring.
Are not. Are not.
Fortunately, keen debate skills and good taste prevail.
Come on, Bullwinkle, we're going to Taco Bell.
Oh, boy.
Disaster is averted as Rocky and Bullwinkle run for the border for something really amazing. That one and only Taco Bell taste.
Chewy cartoon food.
Okay, I was like watching like one of the like HBO like Showtime like channels, and like Borris and Natasha, like the villains from Rocky and Bullwinkle, and they had their own live action movie in the 90s without Rocky and Bullwinkle, and it's like a spy comedy. It's
Really?
like, why not make a Gargamel movie? Like, why?
They should make one. And it's an origin story, but it's like an Oscar pick and about how he's like conflicted about being Gargamel. Or maybe it takes his side. It's like Wicked, but with Gargamel, and the Smurfs. Smurfs are actually bad, and they're ruining his property values.
No, like he's gotta like feed his family the Smurfs. Otherwise, like his family's just gonna like starve to death, and he needs to eat something, and the Smurfs gotta go.
This is all better than Maleficent was.
Yeah. Well, Maleficent was okay. Like I feel like the girl that she took care of, like Sleeping Beauty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she was underdeveloped so badly. Like she barely did anything.
I just was kind of let down. It's like, if you're gonna make a movie about a villain, why were you making it into Maleficent into a good guy rather than taking advantage of having a protagonist be a villain for once?
Turn into a dragon.
It's like they kind of missed the opportunity. You know what I mean? It's like, like why even you didn't really make a Maleficent movie. You changed it to make her sympathetic. Like I don't know, I guess that's not like a big budget movie, but it's still like, it did feel a little lame. It's like, oh, okay, I guess you can't do that. Fine, whatever.
But one thing that irked me is like the scene where they capture her and then she just says to her Scarecrow's like, turn into a dragon. And that felt really out of place how she said that line.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But going back to monster movies, this one movie that is kind of like the Goosebumps concept of kids hanging around at night and a monster's attack is this British film, Attack the Block.
What?
What?
No, Attack the Block's not. I mean, I guess I like Attack the Block a lot. It's really good.
It's vaguely the same kind of sort of concept.
Yo, check it. Lovely fireworks. Mommy's alien invasion. Of course it is. Let's get to the blood.
Quite sweet, really, aren't they?
Mother six. Thinking probably aliens. We need to get off the streets, back in the block.
Got no credit. Got one text left. There's too much madness to explain in one text.
We have to call the police.
You'd be better off calling the Ghostbusters, love.
Attack the Block in cinemas May 11.
I guess. Oh, because it's kids at night fighting.
Monster
Attack the Block is really good and has the guy from John Boyega who's going to be in Star Wars.
Yeah, the sweaty stormtrooper guy you see in the trailers. Like,
yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
really good in Attack the Block.
Yeah, but he always looks like he's quivering though. His lips are quivering. He's just like,
It does.
Like he's seen some shit.
He's a lot more confident in Attack the Block.
Oh god, this is what the fans are gonna do to me if this movie blows. Oh god.
I do like the idea. I do like the idea of his character though. In Everyman, like clone trooper, just like all of a sudden, hey, you're a Jedi now, and he's like, what?
Sure.
Yeah, he like doesn't get it. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so Attack the Block is basically about these group of these group of like teens who also like mug people and are just like, just try to fend for themselves in the hard streets of London or something, and an alien start attacking, and they say, "Hey, you want to go fight some aliens? Let's do this." And that's the whole movie, and it's really good. Like it was done on the cheap also, but it's like very well executed because the director, the producers were of Shaun of the Dead, but it doesn't have Sean Penn or other guy.
Sean Penn.
Who are the two guys from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz?
You mean Nick Frost and
Nick Frost?
No, I'm forgetting. It was embarrassing.
Okay, two guys who look like Dr. Ashens and Guru Larry, basically. Anyway, so
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Okay,
that's embarrassing.
Who did I say?
Oh, Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. Oh, I meant Simon Penn or Simon. I don't know. It's close enough.
Well, the guy who directed Joe Cornish has helped write. He writes with Edgar Wright a lot. Okay. So he helped write Ant-Man, but that didn't work out. But I think he also helped write Tintin and a couple other things. I think.
But yeah, like they're not in this movie except for the fat guy. He's there for a few minutes, but like it's these kids' movie, and I don't know. First off, like it's such a low budget film, but it has like the most iconic, one of the most iconic monsters in a movie in recent years. I mean, like think about the monster in Jurassic Park or Super 8. Like nobody, can you really describe what they look like or remember it?
Not really.
I mean, Jurassic Park was just like T-Rex with feathers, I think, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's Attack the Block has the most simple monster design. It's just a pitch black gorilla with neon teeth, and that's all. And it's very effective.
Those monsters are awesome looking. Yeah. They're like so cool. That's a really, I like that movie because it's like there's this John Carpenter movie called Assault on Precinct 13. Oh, yeah. That's a really great movie, and it's kind of based on old westerns, but him and Dredd and The Raid all take influence from that, and it's kind of just a simple concept of people trying to fight their way in one location and hopefully not get killed by this mysterious villain. Mm-hmm. And I think Attack the Block's like one of my favorites of that because it's like it's a cool concept, like to have a group, and like if you have good actors and good characters, it can really come alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard a lot of criticism from this movie where people were saying, I can't relate to this character because the first opening scene of these characters is them mugging some lady at knife point.
But see, to me, that's true at the beginning, but I think that's the arc of the movie, is at the beginning you don't trust them and don't like them, and by the end you like love John Boyega's character. He's like that end with the cool music and everything. Like it feels like this triumphant moment, like you're totally on their side by the end. Like it's a big arc, but I think it's what makes the movie so good is you like go from not liking him to realizing what makes him tick and really liking him and all that stuff. Or even the girl who gets mugged, like she has faith in them by the end. It just takes the whole movie to get there.
Yeah, and she still acknowledges like, you did that and that makes it okay that you mugged me for that reason. Like they acknowledge it. They don't just like brush it under the rug or anything. What Nolan said in the last podcast, saying people expect the characters to just be developed instantly the very first few seconds they are on screen.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. It's like it's hard to. People always say like, how come Hollywood can't come up with better ideas? But it's always like, but if they did that, it alienates so many people. And when I talk to people who don't like Attack the Block, that seems to be like they have a hard time getting over that. Yeah. How could someone who did something good have done something bad? And it's like, well, it's kind of more complex than that. You can't just judge people on that one thing. And they're not acting like him mugging. They're not acting like them mugging her was okay at all, But I feel like by the end, I like love those characters.
Yeah, and plus there's lots of movies and stories about like characters who are criminals, like Godfather, Breaking Bad, Sopranos, and like I don't know. People have a problem with this one.
This is the only one where it acknowledges that that's really bad.
Yeah,
like a lot of those, it's like they know it's bad and they kind of get into it. But this is like they really make a point that like that they know it's bad and they're kind of just being kind of total assholes, So, but still, you're on their side. I don't know. I love Attack the Block a lot. It's like one of my favorites of recent memory. And I like John Boyega a lot too. So I'm excited for him to have a career.
John Boyega's character Moses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like they give him like some moralities. Like there's certain rules that he doesn't do. Like there's certain people he doesn't mug, and it's like you can give a villain like some sort of morals or like a rule of ethics, I guess, and that makes them a lot likable. Like I guess Predator would be the main example.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of. I knew areas where I grew up where they like wouldn't mug certain people.
I know, but it's like it's not a very well known film.
Yeah, I was because there's a lot of movie press when it came out about it, but then it kind of went under the radar. So I still know people who haven't seen it. Yeah. But I think the cool thing about it is it's like a well-structured movie from the late 70s, early 80s where they, like what John Carpenter would do or Joe Dante or people who knew Hollywood history, but they're like, let's take that and put it into a modern setting. And that's basically what Attack the Block does. And that's one of the reasons I love it so much is because it's like an old cowboy movie, but instead of them fighting, making sure their fort's okay, they're making sure their projects are okay. And it's like the same concept. It's also really well done. You know? Yeah. So, sorry. I really like that movie.
And I guess also the language barrier, because sometimes the accents are too thick, but I had no problem with it, because my speakers are pretty good.
I didn't have a problem with it, but if you put subtitles on, if you're...
I think that was the main reason why you never saw like a U.S. distribution in theaters, just because the accents were too thick maybe.
No, I saw it in theaters.
Oh well, I guess limited release because I didn't see it like in main full distribution theaters.
I think they were trying to. That's when people had faith that like if you were a cult movie, you'd make money, which is like yeah, okay, guys. But. That was one of them where they're really trying to do it small and hope it catches on, and it like kind of caught on, but like they didn't promote it. I don't know. They should have done a better job. It should have gotten a wide release because it's very digestible. Like a normal person could totally be into it. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's a fun, simple movie that's executed really well. I mean, I was reading the trivia on IMDb, and they said that they cut out 15 minutes of script for budget reasons, which I can kind of see that because the movie's very short, and also. There's this one drug dealer that's following them around, and I kind of feel he's just like underdeveloped. Like we could have seen more from him.
Oh, the guy with the rap music and stuff.
I guess so. The one who had a gun.
Oh yeah, that's on the soundtrack. He has his rap songs on there.
Yeah, Didn't he go by his own rapper name within the movie?
Oh, that's his own because that song's like I thought that was a joke because it's so bad. It's like because he doesn't really rap. He's like fuck that shit.
Oh,
yeah. Like it's like the cliche of rap. It's just so awful.
Kind of
like I'm tough, so you should like it.
Oh, kind of like how in Ice Cube he always references, "Man, today was a good day" in every movie. Like Anaconda, he did that.
He did it in Book of Life.
Book of Life, yeah.
He did that should have been his cameo in Straight Outta Compton is his son, because his son played Ice Cube in the Straight Outta Compton, and he walks by and he goes, wow, today was a good day.
Like he should have been that scene where he was typing, you got knocked the fuck down and done. Man, today was a good day.
Oh, that Friday scene is so funny. Where he was like, just writing Friday.
Yep, just me. It's me, Ice Cube. If you haven't realized, I made Friday. I wrote it. I wasn't just a star. I wrote it. Well, time to watch Nintendo.
The first part of that movie is really good when they're NWA, and then the second part is like every biopic cliche in the world, where he's like, "What are you doing? Just recording Doggy Style," and you're like, "Oh my god, really? Like you can't even." All right. Or the Tupac scene is super cringy. We're like, what are you doing? Oh, we're just recording California Love. You're like, what? Come on. Can't he be doing a B-side?
But like that Tupac actor in that movie, like he was spot on. Like
no, he was. Yeah.
Like how? Like is that really him? What the fuck? Was he really hiding all these years? But no. They say it's just an actor, but we don't have to believe that.
Or did you see that Dave Chappelle sketch where it's like new Tupac and he's referencing thing that just happened? He goes, "I didn't mean George Bush. I meant a governor in Minnesota you probably never heard it, and everyone's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, he's still dead. Like it was a good bit. It's not the funniest joke, but it's like it does feel that way because in the 90s they kept putting out new Tupac albums, and you're like, is he really dead? Like, feels like he has a lot of material for. Okay.
They're just looking through his home. It's like, ooh, this unfinished album. Let's release this.
They did have a lot. Like Biggie, I think, didn't have that much, but Tupac recorded like a ridiculous amount. Old
VHS recordings of him at his niece's birthday singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars." Let's release this.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't get why people who have the estates of these artists do that because
money.
Like those. Well, I get the money side. But wouldn't it hurt your bottom line because you want them to buy the albums that made them famous, not like try to remake all like the Tupac people put out a new album every year. It was like way too much. Like it was confusing because you talk to people about what the actual Tupac albums were and they wouldn't know because they bought the last 3 that were posthumously released. Like Jimi Hendrix had the same thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
I know people who don't even know the 3. There's like 4 Jimi Hendrix albums that he made when he was alive. And I know people who don't even know what they are. But they've heard all his songs in weird amalgamations. It's just like, what the hell happened, man? Sorry. That was a rant.
So, Nolan, you have any Halloween specials you like? Monster movies?
My favorites used to be the Paranormal Activity movies.
Get the fuck out.
I like the first one. The first one was good.
Well, it was a big deal when that came out because, like, they didn't have a mass distribution. They just had, like, this weird online campaign saying, hey, guys, if you want to see this movie that we showed the trailer to, write your address here, and if there's enough demand, we'll go to your town and screen it.
It worked. It worked really well.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's the Paranormal Activity. The reason that movie works is it's just like something's going to happen, and it just keeps building and building and building, and then a door closes, and you're like, "Holy shit! What the fuck? What is that? Something happened! Oh my god!" Like that's the genius. It's like the first time someone made a simple ghost story scary again.
Oh yeah, but
I don't know.
Did Paranormal Activity started the trend of like audience reactions through through night vision goggles in the theater?
Yeah, that was the first time I remember seeing those in the TV ads.
It's like now
it was Paranormal Activity. Yeah.
Now every horror movie does that forever until the end of time.
They loved doing that, and they go, see how scary it is? Look at these random people watching a movie.
Oh, I was listening to Spill, or now they go by Double Toasted, and it was, Corey was talking about how he went to a screening of one of these movies, and at the very end, I guess some cameraman came out and said to the audience, like, hey, please, everyone stay in your seats. We just need to record some reaction images. So everyone just, like, on the count of 3, pretend to get scared, and we'll record you, and maybe you'll be in the commercial.
What?
Yeah.
Would that happen to you?
Oh, no, that happened to this podcast I listened to, Double Toasted. Well, back when they were formerly known as Spill.com. Yeah.
Jeez, that's crazy.
I mean, I love that podcast, which I'd be on it if I ever went to Austin, which is a 5-hour drive from where I am.
Well, Austin's supposed to be cool. I've never been, though.
Oh,
I wanted to.
That's the hipster capital of the world, because I went there and like they had the Alamo Draft House. I don't know if you're familiar with this, Jim.
No, I would love. I went to one once, but they're gonna open one near me. I'm really excited for it. I love them.
Okay, for anyone in the listening to this podcast who don't know what the Alamo Draft House is, basically it's this theater, and well, one of the first rules is that no kids under like 9 allowed unless they have parental supervision, unless it's like after 9 p.m. or something. So that's good. While you're watching the movie, you have a menu, and they'll serve you food as you're watching the movie, like wings or pizza or something. And like before the movie starts, like I went to see it in like 2008, I think, when the movie Hancock, Will Smith's Hancock was coming out. And if you could go to the movie early enough before the screening, they don't show trailers. Instead, they just show like music videos of Will Smith's rap career.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. They're cool. They own the site Birth Movies Death, which is a great movie news site, and they also they do the release. They find old cult movies that no one's heard of, and then re-release them and remaster them. And they put out like Roar and The Visitor, like a lot of cool stuff. They do a lot of neat stuff. I really am kind of waiting for it. There's going to be one in Brooklyn, I think in the middle of middle 2016. I'm going to be like camped out for the first day or something. I'm very excited. They have a rip-off one in Brooklyn called, well, it's not a rip, it's just the same idea, Nighthawk, which is good. It's a good theater, but I still want my Alamo Drafthouse.
Wait, what theater was yours called?
Oh, the one in Brooklyn, it's called Nighthawk. Oh. It's like the same, it has the food. And AMC has one AMC has ones where you can do that also, where they'll come and like serve you. I haven't done the AMC one, but Nighthawk's a good theater. But I know there's going to be an Alamo Drafthouse, so I just like the guy who owns it is like a really. If you ever read an interview with him, he knows like a lot about film and distribution. He's really smart. He's interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
anyway, sorry.
Oh, but one thing this Alamo Drafthouse did one time is that they once kicked some lady out for, I think, having their cell phone on and talking loudly during a movie. And after they kicked her out, she called up the Alamo Drafthouse with this long-ass rant message, and they used the audio of that message in a radio commercial showing that, hey, we don't allow people who talk during the movies in the theater, so this could be you.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys actually enjoy treating your customers like pieces of shit, because that's how I felt when I went to the Alamo Drafthouse. Okay? You know what? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to text in your little crappy-ass theater. It was too fucking dark in that place for me to find my seat, all right? I was using my phone as a flashlight to get to my fucking seat. So excuse me for using my phone in USA, United States of America, where you are free to text in a theater. I was not aware that I couldn't text in your theater, all right? I've texted in all the other theaters in Austin, and no one ever gave a fuck about what I was doing on my fucking phone, all right? And it was on silent. It wasn't on loud. It wasn't bothering anybody. You guys obviously were being assholes to me, and I'm sure that's what you do, you know, to rip people off. You take my money, and then you throw me out. You know, I will never be coming back to your Alamo Drafthouse or whatever. I'd rather go to a regular theater where people are actually polite. And, you know, I'm going to tell everyone about how shitty you are. And I'm pretty sure you guys are being assholes on purpose. So thanks for making me feel like a customer. Thanks for taking my money, asshole.
They got mad at Madonna during a 12 Years a Slave screening and asked her to leave.
What did she do?
She was on her phone.
For 12 years, a slave?
Yeah, she was like, don't worry, it's boring. He's not a slave yet. Anyway, so I was saying, don't worry, he's a slave for like 12 years. This is going to be a while.
Oh, that's awful.
Pretty savage.
I was like, that's like the worst movie you can, like, don't do it at 12 Years a Slave. Wait for the Gem movie, and you can like organize your checkbook during it or something.
Yeah, but they were gonna build one in my hometown, like the very most southern point of Texas, and eventually they just ran out of money, and now we just have like this Cinemark Bistro, which kind of has somewhat a little bit of the whole serve your food thing, but not really. It's like microwavable food, and it's just like, this isn't the Alamo Drafthouse. This is a sham.
I mean, there's a lot of them that have done it since Alamo Drafthouse started, and they do a good job if it's like kind of a smaller company. But I've heard the bigger ones can be shittier because, like, you know, they're just going to give you the shit they have at concessions, but they'll bring it right to you.
There's no soul to it. It was so lame. I'm like, I want my Alamo Drafthouse within driving distance. But yeah, so any last Halloween thingies?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I guess.
Well,
sorry.
I guess we can go into the questions. You guys want to take a break?
For the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, I'm Jay Riley, and this is your entertainment news. Alamo Drafthouse Cinema is more than just a movie theater. You see, while you're watching the movie, you'll be able to order dinner from a full restaurant menu, and the food will be served right to your seats. So dinner and movie is now available all in one place. This is Jay Riley for the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema in Winchester, where it's more than just a movie. It's an experience.
Okay, so questions. If anybody has a question, be sure to start out with the word question so it's easier to find and post them in the YouTube comments here.
Wait, is this questions from the Gem video or the last podcast?
Oh, the podcast. The last podcast.
Oh, okay.
Matt Lipton.
Sorry, so make sure it's a podcast video, people.
Yeah, podcast video.
Matt Lipton, question. What's a good way to avoid procrastinating on drawing?
Drawing.
Do it!
No, well, no. That works for some people, but it doesn't for others because for me, yeah, having some background stimulation also helps, but also it's really different for everybody. So you just got to experiment. Some people just like it's just you got to apply yourself and do it. That doesn't work for some people. Some people just doodle and let their mind wander before they'd actually get to work. Others play video games or take a break from it. One thing that also really helps is going for like a walk. Like getting some fresh air really helps. Like, especially if you like to turn on some music, just walk about, don't think about anything. Don't think about, oh, I should be drawing right now. Just turn some music on, go for a walk, get some fresh air for a good 10, 20 minutes, then come back to it, see what happens.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
That's what helps me.
I guess I kind of guilt trip myself into actually doing something because some days I just like stay up until like 4 a.m. and I think, man, I barely did anything productive today. I'm so ashamed. Like, I don't know. I guess I guilt trip myself. Like, I got to do it now. I have to. And I think what helps is like you just play music, typically video game music that has no lyrics, so it's easier to concentrate on drawing.
Yeah, lyric video music really does not help unless it's like the type of lyrics where it's like super auto-tuned, I want to say, and like so many effects you can't even tell what they're saying. I guess that's like an exception.
Yeah. I just kind of sometimes it's just like I should kind of will myself just to do it, but to be honest, like most of the time, I mean, as shitty as it does sound to be like, just do it. Like a lot of the times I'll just be like, if I just do it, it'll be better but it's hard to, especially when you can't come up with an idea. You just kind of have to sit there and, I don't know, I have a hard time procrastinating, so maybe I'm a bad person to ask.
I mean, at least like set a goal for yourself per day. Like, I don't know, like if you're drawing a webcomic, like, I don't know, promise yourself you'll do one page, you'll ink one page a day at least, something. Have a goal for yourself.
Yeah, that's good. Just say like I have to do, a lot of times I'll be like, this has to get done today. And that'll like force me to do it rather than just, not doing it, I guess.
I mean, if you're like lying in bed and you can't sleep, like you might as well work on something.
Yeah. And it's like, it makes you feel better when you're like, oh, hey, I did this today. I mean, sometimes you can't get as much done, but if you at least work on it, it's better than not. But I guess with drawing, you have to come up with the idea that you're drawing. So maybe, I don't know, production-wise, I guess you'd have to think about how long it takes to come up with the idea and develop it and then draw it. And so it's a whole thing. But you just gotta, if you work on it just a little bit each day, it's better than just writing it down, putting it in a folder and being like, one day I'll come back to it. And then the next day you're dead and you're 65. So you should probably, just if you work on it every day, that's how anything I've done gets done. It's just like, I'm going to concentrate on this. And when you do, you get a lot more done. So I don't know. I feel like I'm giving really bad advice for this. Sorry.
Yeah. For me, I have a weird case where it's like, I just like bounce between a bunch of different things. Like a few days ago, I was working on a script for like Shrek, the Xbox game. Then this other review I'm going to do soon. And then Jimmy Neutron's script of the movie. And it's like, I feel so unproductive just bouncing between all these different things. And then my comic and such. It's just ridiculous.
No, I have that problem also from like, I'll work on a review and then like, oh, I want to make sure this TUMBLR's ready for tomorrow and then do this and that. But then it's like you what?
Like you guys freeze up because you have so much stuff to do.
It's like,
well, yeah, it's like you get a bunch of stuff done, but then you're like, oh, but I didn't get this one thing completely done. I just got 5 parts of 5 things done.
Yeah, those are 2 things we should probably talk about too. Like break everything into small incremental bits. Don't focus on the whole picture. Like how I get through my 12-hour shifts at work is like I focus on getting to like I start at 11, and then I'm like, okay, I'll get to 3 o'clock because then that's when like a regular shift for me would start. And I get there and I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna wait until I get on break, and then I get on break, which is around like an hour or two later, and then I'm like, all right, got to get to 7. That's when I start actually closing the place down, and then the rest just kind of goes by. Like I always,
Oh, sorry. No, what were you gonna? You can finish. Sorry.
But yeah, so that like breaking it into increments like really helps you get stuff done quicker.
I mean, I look at it more like because when I do like the Tumblr, I help run comic scans. I organize that weeks in advance, just so I don't have to think about it. And sometimes I'll be like, well, I have to do this one thing, and people are going to be talking. And so, or I kind of want to watch this show, but not really. So I'll do that, and I can kind of pay attention to it. But if I'm editing, it's like a different, or if like my wife wants to watch something on TV that I want to watch also, but I don't care that much about, I can do that. And so I try to think of like both what I can get done and when it's socially acceptable. Or it's like you kind of have to prioritize, and sometimes you have to go, I can't get this review out now because it's just, there's no way it will get done and get done well. So I have to just push it till next week or something. It's just like, sometimes it just happens, but I try to work on stuff like once a day, you know? So it's just a lot of time. I think it's a lot of time management. Most people I know who do a lot of stuff, it's like their schedules are so, mine's pretty blocked out. Like I'm doing this and this today, and I'll get both of these done. But if I put like a third thing, then it's just like, you know, then it gets all messy.
Just prioritize yourself. Like focus on one thing that needs to be done the soonest and what's the most important.
Yeah. Or time. If you're doing a review, if it's an older thing, obviously you can wait. But like Gem, like Pan and I both came out with Gem reviews this weekend because it's time sensitive. Because next weekend, no one's going to be talking about Gem.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like you kind of have to. There's certain things you just have to will it out, or you come out with it 3 months later, and people are like, "What? No, I don't even know." So
just prioritize.
Like Jimmy Neutron, you were saying. I don't think you can wait a little bit and be fine. Yes, you know.
Well, prioritize what's the most important and work on that. Because sometimes I'm just like editing a video and I'm like, I feel like drawing right now. I'll put this aside. Which just focus on one thing and do that, and don't stray from it. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard because there's a lot of times I'll work on something and go, well, I should message this person about this thing, and maybe I should check out this thing that I'm going to do later. And you're like, you just really have to like be kind of like put the blinders on and be a little single-minded, I guess.
Yeah. But next question, El Tigre 147. Question, Pan, where did the idea of Emily Vasquez come from? And also, is she based on someone, or did you think of her on the spot?
Oh, I kind of know the answer to this one.
Okay, well, it's a lot of weird things, but basically Emily's design, because sometimes I just create the design for a character first and then come up with a personality later. But first, Emily just started out as, I think it was with my scene friend. I somewhat based it off her looks, her hair. She had this kind of the same hair with the highlights and everything, and that's where the design started. But I was thinking, like, wait, what will be her personality? And I had no idea. But in one podcast, like, I just started saying, "What's up, fuckers?" And then everyone was like, "Pan, stop saying that voice." It's like, no, I'm not going to stop. And then Ken said, "Pan, get your little sister out of the call." And eventually I thought, hey, that could be Emily's voice. Yeah. Where I got the personality from is I was thinking, well, she loves Hot Topic, so I was thinking back to, like, my Hot Topic days when I was in middle school, me and my cousin, like, loving Hot Topic, Invader Zim, Nightmare Before Christmas, but I stumbled onto this mystery cartoonist who was making a cartoon now, and people found her, like, embarrassing Invader Zim blog when she was 14, and I thought, this could also be useful inspiration for Emily, so, yeah. Emily's just this mix between a bunch of people.
You're never letting that Invader Sim blog go.
Look, it's like, wow, it's inspirational. I mean, like, everyone started out as a cringe lord, you know?
Oh, okay.
I can escape my cringiness too someday.
I don't think your later fame is based on your current cringiness, though.
No.
Sorry.
I mean, like, everyone knows me for my cringe, so it's too late. I'm the Tom Green of whatever I do. It's over. I fucked up. And then I eventually thought about giving Emily a twin sibling, Stephanie, who talks like this, and they love rave pants and glow sticks, and they're also an artist who draws Sonic cartoons, but you'll see more of that in Loki IRL eventually.
Wow. Yeah. That sounds fucking terrible.
That's the history of Emily and a little bit of Stephanie, their twin, which they'll hopefully they'll sing at the end of the podcast, because last podcast I was like busy with school. It's like, crap, I can't stop and just like find a song and sing it, but don't worry, I'll edit something in at the end this time. Yay. So let's see, next question. Oh, Pasta Gamer question. You guys and your podcast got me through rough times in my life, so thank you for that. Do you guys have a favorite cartoon box set for DVD, Blu-ray? Mine is the time they released the pre-Comedy Central Futurama episodes in a giant bender head.
What's the question?
Favorite DVD box sets or Blu-ray box sets?
Well, why would I give a shit about a box set?
You're not a collector. You don't understand.
I mean, well, first off, thank you. Was it Pasta Lover?
Pasta Gamer.
Did I get that right? Pasta Gamer, thank you. I'm glad that happened, that we got you through that. Yeah. And I wish I said that less awkward.
Good job, Jim.
Yeah, thank you. I like the Looney Tune box sets because you can't really watch those on TV anymore. And a lot of like the older cartoon box sets, just because I've rediscovered like the first couple of Mickey Mouses I only saw through a box set, which I actually don't own, but I've watched a lot of times. And any of the older box sets that like you could only get a shitty VHS copy of, or it's not a box set, but it's a great DVD. You can get a DVD of literally all the Fleischer Supermans and stuff. I don't know. I think I like the older ones, but I like the Critic DVD and these aren't box sets. I'm not giving good examples at all.
Well, I prefer the box sets that are shaped like something special, like the Big Lebowski's box set. It was just like a miniature bowling ball that you unscrew and the DVD's in there, and I thought that was really cool. But also, the Invader Zim complete series, it's in the shape of the house. Well, it's...
Oh, yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, it's Invader Zim's house, but it also works as a shelf for the DVDs, a mini shelf, and I need that, but it's so expensive. I think it's like $80 on eBay.
It's not a cartoon, but I have a box set, and it's of the show Homicide, Life on the Street.
Oh.
What?
I thought you were going to say Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Oh, no, it was this like cop show, but it was the guy who made the Wires show before. But since they're like in cops and they're always using file cabinets, it's like a big file in a file cabinet.
That's kind of boring.
And I don't know. I thought it was okay. Never mind. That's like the only one. I have a few Mystery Science Theater ones, but it's just like a metal box, and you get a little figure with it. They don't really make DVD box sets like they used to, though. No. They used to make like a lot of them because DVD's kind of over, but not over.
Yeah,
or whatever.
We're going into the digital age. No more DVD box sets. Oh, but you can buy, I think, the entire franchise of Aliens and all the bonus features and whatever in like this giant xenomorph head that acts as like the disc holder.
Really?
I mean, the DVDs are sticking out like buzzsaws in a way.
Oh, I see.
The Jack Skellington one, I remember making a big impression on me because it's like, whoa, Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, this was after my whole Invader Zim, my Hot Topic phase, my Emily phase. It was like, oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, I guess I saw it so many times that it just wore off on me. But I'm waiting, like, how many DVDs is it going to take to store the entire series of The Simpsons so far?
Oh, probably, that would be ridiculous.
You think it would get faster over time, but
no. I mean, digital age now, so people are starting to care less and less about DVDs. I mean, they're starting to release movies on demand like a month before DVD.
Yeah, I've noticed they are on digital and on demand before because I guess it's cheaper because you just like upload it to somewhere, you know.
Yeah, it's over.
I mean, not completely. They're still going to make that. Blu-rays will be around, but the problem with Blu-rays is the only people that buy them are people who want like Avengers movies and like collectibles. Yeah. So eventually smaller stuff probably won't even be on Blu-ray because there's just like no one's going to buy a small movie on Blu-ray Or they'll do burn on demand. I bet you that's probably going to be it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, physical media. But speaking of, I guess, collector's edition, the video game Saints Row had the $1 million collector's edition. It literally costs $1 million.
And what is it?
The deal includes a full-size replica of the dubstep gun, a free chance at plastic surgery, 7 nights on top of the royal suite of the Bal Al Aqab Dubai, a first-class flight to Washington, D.C. and Dubai, Lamborghini, a new Toyota Prius with 1-year insurance, a year's supply of car memberships, a week for 2 at the Jefferson Hotel in Washington, D.C., spy training day, capsule wardrobe, hostage rescue experience, Virgin Galactic space flight. They're gonna fly you into fucking space. And the video game.
What? Do you get a DVD?
All this for $1 million?
That's a steal.
Yeah, that is a fucking steal.
I don't think anyone ever actually bought it. Like, there's been no one who's actually spent the money on it. But yeah, $1 million fucking dollars. It's called the Saints Row 4, the Super Dangerous Wub Wub Edition, aka the $1 million pack. It doesn't get better than that. But next question. For you says, question, have you seen Death Battle? Are there any battles with outcomes you dislike? Okay, first off, I've seen Death Battle. Second, I don't care about the outcomes. I'm not one of those people who write long-ass rants about, like, how come Goku...
Goku should have fucking won!
Oh, you scared me. Ooh. Jeez.
The warrior of the next millennium is the Machine, such as the Terminator, the time-traveling metal assassin.
And RoboCop, Detroit's cyborg defender. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah, like, so Death Battle is this show on YouTube by ScrewAttack where they animate CG characters or sometimes pixelated characters of fighting, of crossover fights like Ninja Turtles versus Battletoads or Spawn versus God of War, you know? And the biggest one was Goku versus Superman, the end-all thing, and I think it currently has like half dislikes and half likes on the YouTube channel. The bar is almost perfect, because everyone's just mad at that whoever won. Yeah, but anyone care about Death Battle and complain about it? Because I watch it, but I don't complain about it.
I'm so angry that Goku didn't win. Ugh.
Freaking nerds. It's a fucking video. Who cares? It's like people who get mad at like an IGN review or something. Like, no one cares. Shut up. Which I think I'm saying that now, but I'm pretty sure if you go look at a video of mine somewhere, there's going to be a video of me complaining. Look at this internet reviewer complaining of giving this movie a score out of blank. What an idiot. So I probably shouldn't be saying these things. So Death Battle, anyone?
Oh,
I didn't see
Nobody
it.
cares.
Oh, well, thanks for nothing. Okay,
Sorry.
Zane Powers question. Do you consider yourself cynical? You seem to shit on any YouTuber that aren't you. Okay, first.
Was this directed to me?
I don't know.
Because this sounds a lot like it was directed to me.
Go ask Nolan, that's his question. Nolan, are you cynical?
I'm very cynical.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we're that cynical.
You're not that cynical. I am.
Oh, okay. I worry.
Pan's just kind of stuck in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of okay with whoever now. Although, you know what's sad for me is like, okay, there's only 2 people that I really hate. I won't mention it, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows who it is. And because I did a video, a podcast video where I talked about them. But also, I hate any of these stupid prank videos. Oh, fuckers. I hate all of them. The ones where they take advantage of people and freak them out. Like, there was this one prank video where it was like, this father and wife, like, the father makes it seem like he's carrying his son, and they're doing, I don't know, he helps him do a backflip, and he makes it seem that he dropped his son off the 2nd floor balcony, and the wife sees what's supposed to be the son falling into the into the first floor, and she runs down thinking her child is dead, but it turns out it's just a stuffed dummy.
Some pranks are fine, but ones like that are too extreme.
Yeah.
Even I wouldn't do that, and I'm terrible.
Or I hate the ones where it's like a social experiment. Where it's like, would your kid leave with someone on a playground? Let's see. Like,
would your kid would your kid drink the Kool-Aid? Let's find out.
No, some of my favorites are placebos. Like it was a video in class I saw, and they're like, we did this social experiment where we put the same wine in a designer glass bottle and the other and then one in box. They're both the same wine, but let's see what people say. And then people who drank the bottled wine were like, this is sophisticated, it's smooth, it's rich. And then when they taste the box wine, they're like, it's okay, but it's the same wine.
Oh, yeah.
I like stuff like that, like social experiments.
Yeah, they did the same. They were at like a food fair with all these hipsters, and like all they did was get some like cut up McDonald's burgers and kind of like dressed them up to be a little more gourmetish, and they just took them to a food fair full of all these food critics and hipsters, and they just fed them to people saying, what do you think of this food? Oh yeah, it's amazing, delicious. Like, do you think it's better than McDonald's? Oh, absolutely. This is way better than McDonald's. Nolan, you think it's a placebo effect? Like they really do like it, or they just hate the brand recognition of McDonald's?
It's strange because the brain, for as complicated as it is, it's really fucking easy to trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's true that if you give someone water, say it's alcohol, they'll get drunk.
No,
well, sort of along those lines, but it's also like another thing, like where people who've lost limbs, they like they'll put the other existing limb in front of a mirror and then like rub it, and then like somebody will rub it, and then their brain kind of is like, oh, they're rubbing the other limb that isn't there, and then it'll start feeling better, and that's how like phantom pains are soothed.
I mean, I see people do that, like where one thing will be okay and something that's fairly identical will not, just in terms of shows or movies. And I'm like, just because this is the perception of being more adult or pseudo-intelligent, people will like it. But then something, or like the whole Adventure Time regular show, they're very different shows, but Adventure Time got written up in like all these great reviews and was like this big deal. And like regular show was still consistently good, but it just took like it didn't get the reviews that Adventure Time did. And it's like, I don't know if like, to me, the quality for a little bit was a little consistent, but nobody no one gave regular show those kind of accolades that Adventure Time got, especially early on. And it's like they're literally right next to each other. It's just that one, since it was in New York Times or something, is considered more intelligent. Yeah. And I think about like with movies like Oscar prestige picks, like people always act like those are better than like an Avengers movie. But like it's a genre pretty much. It's very like calculated. Yeah. Even more so than the Avengers. But since the Avengers is on a McDonald's cup, basically, people go, "Oh, that's not important. That's not as good because it's mass marketed." But the Imitation Game is really important because it's about this important person. I think about that a lot because people really like the pseudo-intellectual thing, makes them feel more mature, but that's not maturity. That's just an easy answer.
I just remembered, I think for Don Bluth movies, like they focus tested the movies, and in certain screenings, they put the Disney opening logo at the very beginning, and audience liked the movie a lot more when it had the Disney logo than without it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you read that?
I forget. I don't know, but like it was, I think, for Don Bluth movies or one of the Disney competitors in the 90s.
That makes sense because people let that go more easier when it's a Disney movie, I've noticed.
Yeah, although I imagine for a second if Home on the Range wasn't done by Disney.
Even bigger bomb, probably. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, perception's a big thing about how we take in media.
I mean,
like, would so many people watch Game of Thrones if it wasn't the big deal it was? I don't know. I mean, I think about that with a lot of these bigger shows. It's like how many people, if it wasn't a big deal, wouldn't be interested in Star Wars or the Beatles or Marvel movies or any of that? And it's like when Adventure Time really blew up, I was like, there's a lot of other great shows, animated shows going on at the same time. How come people aren't saying there's an animation boom? And it just seemed to be more like Adventure Time. And I was like, what's going on? Like, Adventure Time's not bad, but it's just like, why did this get to take all the attention? And it's just because it got better reviews, you know?
I think it's also the same with like small cult movies, because you feel like you're in an exclusive club, like, oh yeah, I know this movie, but no one else does. I'm so cool. Which I guess that's kind of like my drive for some of my videos. I just want to recommend people all these obscure things they probably would never have heard of if it weren't for me. Yeah.
No, that is a big thing with, that's why like, I read this thing about the band Soundgarden, and they broke the Seattle thing a little too early. And so their independent album sold really well. But then their major label album, since no one wanted to buy a major label album from them because it was selling out, they sold the same amount as their minor label album, but it was literally to different people. Because to them, that was bad. So they actually didn't have initially a huge success because they were considered sellouts. But then after Nirvana happened, it was okay. So then they started selling more albums, which I was like, wow, that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just because they had more money to record, you didn't like them.
Freaking mainstream non-hipster bullshit.
Just like what you like. Don't get so hung up on that.
Yeah, we went on a real tangent from... I don't even know.
Yeah, sorry. We've been doing this a lot today.
I don't even remember what the original topic, what the question was.
What was it, the one early on we had?
Something about prank videos.
Yeah, we... Sorry. I feel like this is my fault.
Yeah, I like when we go off topic. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, we're like that's our thing, man. Yeah. We're like the jazz music of podcasts.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Oh, well, next question. I guess 2 final questions. Okay. Haley Coloran. Question. Hey Pan, do you have any advice for anyone who wants to start their own webcomic? I'm inexperienced, but I've been designing characters and writing plots. But honestly, I have no clue where to start. I'm looking for some advice. Thanks. Okay, well, go back to my, I think, pilots video number 2 or 3, where I'm talking about this pilot called Blackford Manor. Like, make sure when you're writing a comic or anything, don't try to cram as much details in the visuals. Just make it stand out as like a silhouette, like in plays and theater. Like the actors have to stand in a very specific way so that their silhouette, you can tell what their silhouette is and what emotion it is. Like, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but
I would say if you're developing something that's animated or drawn, spend a long time developing it so that when it launches, you like feel really comfortable making it. Like, you know, the character. That's because any cartoon I've ever worked on, we spent like a year spitballing and thinking, and you know, it's like, it's good when you like Loki IRL you worked on for a while and then you could just put them out. It's like, I think it works better that way.
Yeah, well, but Loki IRL, like, I never done a webcomic or anything before. Like, I've drawn like maybe 1 or 2 page comics before, but Loki IRL was like, I had to go back and change a lot of things because in the process of making a bunch of them at once, I learned a lot. So don't assume that you know everything automatically, because you're gonna keep learning things, especially if it's something that you've never done before, like a web comic. But also, like, when you do have a web comic, just have a consistent date on when you're gonna release them. Like, if they're standalone comics, like a Sunday comic, you can release them like individually per week. But if it's like a story-based comic, maybe bundle a few pages or whatever together as much as you need. That way it's easier to follow.
I don't like commenting on stuff that I'm really not proficient at or anything like that. So that's why I've been quiet. But I guess the one thing that hasn't been mentioned here that I kind of know for a fact you should do is have a direction. Don't just go in without knowing where you're going to go, what the ending is going to be. At least have some points set up so you know where you're going.
Well, I basically have like an outline of what major events are going to happen. Now I just got to make filler on what happens in between those. Like, I know how Loki IRL is going to end.
That's a good way to sell a comic. Huh? I said that's a good way to sell your comic.
I mean, I'm serious this time. I know where Loki IRL is going to end, like how they're going to be at the end of the story. What, like if it were animated, like what song they would use. It's from a Tony Hawk game, but no one will know. Yeah.
I mean, you just said it, so. You kind of just said that it's going to be a Tony Hawk song and nobody's going to know.
There's like 10 billion. There's like so many Tony Hawk games and so many songs in each one. Like no one's going to guess it.
Tony Hawk song.
Yeah, that's like
Tony Hawk song.
That's like saying this song was featured in a now that's what I call music compilation. So it's one of those, you know. No one's going to know. But yeah, I basically have it planned out. This little in between things are not there. Yeah, it's going to be cray-cray. But, other things that I recommend for when you're starting a webcomic, know what your characters are. Like, write down who your characters are. Otherwise, you're just, like, thinking, wait, who did what again? Who did this?
And by that, you mean what their personality is, what they do in the story, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't focus on what they do. Focus on what they're like. Like, if they were in a situation, how would they respond?
So, basically, what you're saying is develop the characters.
Yeah, don't make a chosen one story.
I.e., what every fucking story should do, period.
Yeah.
Well, I would say develop it, but you will notice right when you start making it that, like, all this stuff's probably you're gonna be changing and be willing to move with the whatever it is, you know, the property, I guess you could say, creatively.
Yeah.
You know?
But, like, one thing that people always ask themselves is, like, okay, is my art good enough to start doing this story, or should I wait until my art gets better and do it? You're not going to get better unless you actually do it, so you might as well do it. I mean, look at how a lot of webcomics started out, look at the first Penny Arcade comic. It looks like shit, and it was done in the 2000s, I think.
You'll learn so much more just doing it than second guessing yourself.
Yeah. And if you have an idea you really feel like you're not like competent enough to do yet, then I guess try doing smaller things first. Just like maybe even work on fan stuff. Just like if you want to write stories based on other characters, do that. It's practice. I mean, it hones your skills.
Yeah, make like a 3-page comic or something, just like a short story, or just a joke comic. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I said, if you feel you're not ready to do something yet, then just work on something else, and then until you feel you are ready. Next question.
I think people will focus on like if the story is good rather than the art more often.
Having said that, there was this webcomic called One Punch Man by One, and it wasn't drawn well, but it was written so well that a manga artist, Yusuke Murata, I think his name is. I'm too lazy to look it up. Sorry. Somebody put the real name in here. But anyway, he adapted it into a manga. And the same guy who wrote the webcomic wrote the story, but it was drawn by somebody else under the same name, One Punch Man. And now it's a award-winning manga and anime series. So
a good anime series. I like that show.
Oh, you watched One Punch Man?
Yeah, I got into it. I really like it. I like the cartoon. I haven't read the comic, but I like the cartoon a lot. Like, especially the first episode's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the others are still good. It's a good show. It's on Hulu, but it's free. I don't have a Hulu account. It keeps letting me watch it, but it's good. You know.
Yeah, a lot of animes were based on webcomics too, like Sword Art Online and.
Wow, good. That's really reassuring.
I think there was something. I forget there was something else. I think, something that had a Kickstarter recently or something.
Wasn't Ruby like a completely independent thing, or?
Well, Ruby's just a CG animated thing that's by Rooster Teeth. It didn't start out as a manga, but they're gonna make a manga of it pretty soon. So now it's officially anime, sort of, kinda, a little bit.
Okay,
but for anyone who talks about Ruby's, look, Waishni is not some generic Miku Miku dance anime girl, okay? She's rich and got... Next question. DJ Tibucurisio. Final question, I guess. Question, what are your favorite cutscenes from a video game? Mine is the last cutscene from Halo Reach, blank dying in Saints Row, spoilers, blank dying in Gears of War 3, So you guys have a favorite video game cutscene?
Not really.
Yeah, Jim doesn't play video games.
What about all those? What about the most simplistic classic ones like "Rise from Your Grave"?
I do like the opening to Turtles in Time. Sorry, that's like the only people are like, wow, that's the only game you play, but that is the only game. I like the cutscenes of the newer stuff that I've seen, but I can't really specifically call on something.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't really call on anything specific either. I'm trying to think, but I'm just going to say, regardless of what you think of the story, Metal Gear Solid 5's cutscenes are fucking top-notch. Mm-hmm. They're probably the most cinematic cutscenes in any game ever. They look so good. And they're all done in like one shot most of the time.
Are they 40 minutes long and take up half the game?
No. Metal Gear Solid 4 did that. Mm-hmm. Metal Gear Solid 5 was the antithesis of 4 in that it had too much game and like too little story and cutscenes.
So they simplified it. That's kind of better.
Yeah, but the cutscenes that are there look gorgeous, and I love it.
I think one of my favorite cutscenes is from this rhythm game. It's called Elite Beat Agents. It's essentially people are in trouble, like something stupid, like, oh no, I got to take care of some kids, and your cheerleader guys who are dressed like the Men in Black show up. And you cheer them on, and it's just this stupid, ridiculous anime-ish comic book game. But the final cutscene, it just has them, like, all the people gathered together, like, cheering for the Elite Beat Agents, and I thought it was, like, the most Gurren Lagann-esque cutscene in a video game ever for a DS game, and I thought that was, like, really insane.
Oh, my favorite cutscene is at the end of in Super Mario Brothers, where he gets in the castle and the flag goes down and the fireworks go up. That's my favorite cutscene.
I wonder what's like the first cutscene ever. Like, it has to be just like the most simplistic thing.
I think it's that.
I think what was first considered to be a cutscene was the Ninja Gaiden cutscenes. I think those were the first like quote unquote cinematic cutscenes.
Yeah, some of the first. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was something before that.
Well, yeah, but that was the most popular one.
Yeah, they work to their advantage of like being barely able to like make any new frames. One last question. I need something. Jim Doctor. Question: what is your opinion on the short-lived animated series Whatever Happened to Robot Jones?
I didn't even see that, but I saw Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and that's a good movie.
Do you guys have any theories? Like, what happened to him? What happened to Robot Jones?
He was dismantled and sold for parts.
Yep, sorry, Jim Doctor. I mean, a long time ago, I asked the creator of Flapjack on his DeviantArt, like, in 2008, like, hey, what happened to Robot Jones? And the creator of Flapjack told me he's stoned in the park. Confirmed.
Can you screenshot that?
Oh man, that's so long ago. I wish I did. Crap, that's awesome.
I'm sure you can go through your DeviantArt notes.
No,
I'm sure that you know what. I bet you there's somebody who's right now scrolling through DeviantArt like a madman trying to find this thing.
No, I tried looking for it, but like DeviantArt only saves so many pages of comments on their main profile, and it's like, no, you just hit a wall where it's like, no, there's no more. It's gone forever. The proof that the creator of Flapjack, the refined Orman, told me he's stoned in the park is gone. What a shame. It's over.
Sorry.
Yeah, so is this the end of the podcast?
Bye. I guess it is. Was that a question? Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
You guys done?
Jim's ready for this to be over.
I said bye, and then you were like, is this the end? I was like, oh, that was a presumptive bye?
I guess this is the end of the podcast. I'm Pan Pizza.
I'm Nolan.
Yeah, and I might release the top 5 Halloween hidden gems early this Friday.
Just do it. Cash in, you faggot.
Although I won't have anything for Tuesday, maybe, unless I do something else, but I'm really busy, so who knows. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Play us out, Emily.
When you're walking down the street and the man tries to take your business,
and the people that you meet want to open you up like Christmas, you gotta wrap your fuzzy with a big red bow. Ain't no some bitch gonna treat me like a hoe. I'm a classy, honey, kissy, huggy, lovely, dolly ghetto princess. 'Cause you're filthy! Oh.